All right, y'all, so I was driving past this 24/7 emergency room and I saw that they're doing car-side coronavirus testing from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and I wanted to see how hard or easy it would be to get a test. I am a part of an essential service and I am around a couple of people at work still despite the coronavirus, so I thought it was better safe than sorry, and it might be a good idea to get tested. So we're here now to see if that will even be a possibility. All right, y'all, so we are currently driving around this clinic where they're offering car-side coronavirus testing, and it's pretty empty out here. As you can see, the parking lot surrounding the whole entire building from front to back is empty, and we are now about to drive into the area besides the emergency entrance where they're potentially giving out these tests. Okay, so we just pulled up to the emergency room entrance. The nurses saw us and it looks like right now they're gearing up. They're putting on goggles, they're putting on face masks, they're putting on gloves. And again, this is the car-side symptom assessment. I have had a little bit of a cough over the past 2 weeks, so I'm going to try to get tested. Just to make sure, take any precautions that I can and make sure that we're not spreading the coronavirus. All right, folks, if you can't see, there's two nurses and one of them is currently putting on what seems to be a medical gown. Like I said, she put on a mask, she's putting on protective eyewear, and we just pulled up. We've probably been sitting here for about 5 minutes now, and they're taking all of those precautions to make sure that the coronavirus is not spread whatsoever. However, what we're seeing here in the parking lot is it's fairly empty from the front to the back. There doesn't seem to be a lot of testing going on here today. Hi, how are you?
Good.
So I was just wondering if I could potentially get a coronavirus test today or I guess symptom assessment.
Absolutely.
So I've had a little bit of a cough for the past 2 weeks, and maybe a week ago as well I was dealing with like cold-like symptoms. I have also had headaches on and off and fatigue. And I'm also part of an essential service, so I have still been going into work. I am in my own office though, so I'm not around other people. I haven't really been interacting with too many other people at all. But better safe than sorry type of thing.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna get some paperwork. So here's a pen. You get to keep the pen.
Thank you.
And close.
And what's the cost of the symptom assessment?
I don't handle the billing.
I believe if it's with your insurance, they're saying it should be covered. I can't verify that. If it's out of pocket, it's $199. It's just the blanket. It's actually cheaper than a normal blanket cost. So that includes the assessment, the flu vaccine, and the strep vaccine. Or not vaccine, sorry.
We do a flu test, we do a strep test, and then the doctor decides if any of that then turns around and warrants doing a COVID test based on everything that we talk about. You
can take well?
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you. Have you guys been getting a lot of testing this week?
Fair bit. 97% and 85%. So I'm going to take 2 samples. First one is going to go in your nose. It's basically going to swab just not super far back. I know you've probably seen the pictures of how far back the COVID one goes.
Yeah.
This does not go near so far back, but it's still uncomfortable, but it's not miserable.
Okay.
The next one, I'm going to swab your throat. Okay, so we can also do a strep test.
Okay.
Alrighty. I know it's not fun. I'm sorry. If you want to go ahead and put that mask on. Those tests are going to be about 5 to 8 minutes. And then, like I said, the doctor is going to look at those results. He's going to come out, he's got to do his assessment, talk to you, see what he wants to do next, whether he wants to order the coronavirus test or if he considers you to be low risk and not needing of a coronavirus test. But
so the tests are already distributed to medical centers here in Texas?
We have the coronavirus tests, but it's not everybody gets a test. Okay, and I know that it's been really deceptive with what Pence has been saying and things like that with, you can just go anywhere and get a test. You actually do have to fit certain criteria in order to qualify for a test. So
And is it the administration who made those guidelines and requirements too?
Pardon?
Was it the administration that made those requirements?
No, that's actually the physicians.
Now, I've been reading a lot in the media that like our hospitals are overrun or running out of ventilators, like people can't get testing.
Down here in Texas, I mean, pay attention to what Dr. Escott is saying. Down here in Central Texas, we're doing fine. You know, but if you also look at the projections, it's kind of that calm before the storm. So people need to be cautious about going out. You know, I mean, New York, Florida, those areas, New York especially is kind of hurting right now, but we're doing just fine.
Oh, that's
we
good.
have enough PPE for people. The ambulance service is doing just fine. So.
Hello, I'm Dr. Connor.
Hi, how are you?
What's your name?
Savannah.
Savannah? Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Can you
too.
turn the camera off, please?
Yeah.
So, out of the symptoms that you're having, I mean, I realize everybody's worried about it. They're having COVID. Tell me what's bothering you the most, or you're thinking about the most, or biggest concerns. Your flu test and strep test were negative, so both of those are negative. As you know, there's always a possibility any of us could have COVID with zero symptoms, or a little bit of symptoms, or terrible symptoms, right? You're obviously on the side of pretty minimal symptoms. As far as going to the office goes, I mean, if you're around zero people, I don't really know why that would necessarily be a problem. Based on what you're saying to me, I mean, to me, if your symptoms got worse and you're like, hey, I'm having trouble breathing and I really have a fever, then I would definitely say, hey, we at the very least need to test you, and while you're having any of those symptoms, don't go at all. That would not be good. But being that your symptoms are what they are and they're fairly mild and you're not having any fever, I think if you go to the office and maybe wear a mask, I mean, how do you feel about that?
I feel fine. I think like I said, it was more of a precaution because I don't want to potentially spread it to other people. So
I look at it this way, like I don't have any symptoms at all. But anytime I go out anywhere to the grocery store or something, I treat myself as if I could be a carrier.
right.
And everybody else as if they're a potential victim or a carrier. So, I mean, hopefully people in the office, like even here at work, I mean, obviously I'm in a different setting than you are, but I wear a mask all day.
So if I do end up getting fevers and chills again, or my cough comes back worse when I come back, I still have to.
Because this is kind of a moving target, okay? Like, if you did that, ideally, I would want you to come back and get tested. And at the same time, at that point, even if you tested negative, you would need to stay away from people. But if you have fever, chills, and cough, the test is only about 60% accurate. It's not that awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so you can test negative and still have it. But for you, because you're going to keep working, at some point it would probably good for you to get it. And here's the problem. We think we're going to have enough tests to where eventually we can do that. We're just not quite there right now.
Okay.
If we don't have enough tests to do that, we're basically just using it for people who are pretty sick.
Right.
Following the guidelines.
Okay. But you said the test is only 60% accurate right now?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, just think about it a little bit too. We got all these people mass producing tests. How quickly are they getting them to, like, FDA's approving them quickly? How much are they really getting to check them?
Yeah.
I wonder what we're going to find out later, to be honest with you. Like, how accurate they were at all.
I saw that story that those tests that were produced out of China were not correct and that they were, misdiagnosing
I've been
people.
getting that story for years and years and years, though, about lots of stuff we get from China.
Good Lord, yeah. I guess so, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing a lot of the right stuff. I mean, that's basically what I would tell people as well. But your sleep is one of the most vital things.
And then I just have one last question for you as well. I guess what symptoms would warrant a hospital visit, just like shortness of breath? Because the breathing? Okay.
If you really wanted to get something, you could get one of those oxygen sensors like that we did, put it on your finger at home. You don't need it right now, but I mean, if your oxygen got low enough, you're going to know, I feel really bad, I'm having trouble breathing, that's when you need hospitalization.
Okay. All right, so we are driving away from the clinic where we just went to the drive-in coronavirus assessment test, and we learned a lot of really interesting things. Apparently, the coronavirus test is only 60% accurate here in Central Texas as well. Our hospitals are not overrun. There's no lack of personal protective equipment. I got this mask after testing for the coronavirus today. They're only trying to test the most sick people because they don't have that many tests as well. Also, something that was very interesting, a lot of people are blaming Mike Pence for the fact that they're not able to get coronavirus testing, but that nurse just told us that it's really the physicians who are delegating who can and cannot get a coronavirus test. We will continue looking more into this in each individual state, monitoring this whole entire situation. This has been Savannah Hernandez for Action 7 News.
We brought in a non-globalist paid actor and did a blind taste test between the mac and cheese from Storable Foods at InfoWarsStore.com and one of America's leading brands. These are the results.
Now go ahead and try the first macaroni and cheese to your right.
It literally smells like nothing.
And what are your first thoughts?
Typical. Takes me back to when the babysitter doesn't quite know how to make it like your mom makes it, so it's just not,
Let's move on to the one on your left.
See, this one actually smells like cheese. All right, do I have any on my fork here? .com.